Hey everybody, welcome into my beauty stash. Today I have yet another new foundation to review for you all. One I'm very excited for because I don't think I've tried anything from this at least beauty side of the brand. I'm talking about Gucci. This might be the most expensive foundation that I've ever purchased. This is the new Etenite. I am not French. Debute 24 wear breathable foundation. Luminous matte full coverage foundation to be exact. I'm very excited for this one. Today I'm going to be doing a 12-hour wear test on my 40-year-old normal to oily skin. If you guys want to see this new Gucci foundation in action, keep on watching. I'm very intrigued by this foundation. Instead of doing a 2-day wear test, I'm only going to be able to do a 1-day wear test, which is why I'm prolonging it to 12 hours. I mean, it says this stuff is meant to last 24 hours. I would never wear my makeup that long, but let's see what it's going to look like at the end of 12 hours on my normal to oily skin. I am going to wear this foundation the typical way I would wear any foundation. And so while I'm going through applying it, I'll be giving you a little bit of details behind this $69 foundation currently available at Sephora. This is what the packaging looks like. You have that frosted glass packaging, nice gold pump. I have two other foundations here that I want to swatch this before we get started. Next to. So this is the shade Fair. I think that looks like it's going to be a pretty decent shade for me. What do you guys think? And the other two foundations I pulled out are the All Hours foundation from YSL. This is a newly reformulated version of this foundation, and the shade I have in this one is shade LN3. This one also says that it's going to be a luminous matte finish. YSL, Gucci right here. And then last but not least, I pulled out the Huda Beauty FuaxFilter Luminous Matte Foundation. This foundation I have in the shade Panna Cotta. And there is what Panna Cotta looks like. So you have Panna Cotta, Huda, Fair Gucci, LN3 YSL. I feel like the Gucci one might be the spot on shade match for me. And when I choose a foundation, I typically go more for fair to light in the neutral, maybe a little bit of the warm undertones. Okay, so I'm gonna wipe off what I have right there. I want to do some primer. So from bougie, we're gonna go down to on a budget with the e.l.f. Acne Fighting Putty Primer. This is one of my favorite primers. It's actually my favorite in the Putty primer lineup. Even though it says it's intended for acne, it still provides a nice little blurring effect while still being hydrating and not making me excessive oily. So on the right side of my face, I'm going to go in with my BK Beauty 101 foundation brush. A brush really is my preferred method of application when it comes to foundation, to most foundations. And this foundation seems to have a very light, kind of like on the thin side of consistencies. I am smelling a little bit of a fragrance from this one. It says that it's going to be, of course, long wearing, full coverage, that it does contain hyaluronic acid, which I think is fantastic. I applied my hyaluronic acid as part of my skincare routine this morning. It also says that it has bamboo powder, and the bamboo powder is what's going to help to absorb that excess oil throughout the day, which I definitely need that because the T-zone is the oiliest place on my face, especially my nose. Okay, so am I seeing full coverage right now? I think I'm seeing it. I can see the matte, the mattifying effect. I don't know yet that I see the luminous effect that it says it has, but I can definitely see the matte. We'll see over here. I have a little bit of a flare up right there. I was picking at my face like you're never supposed to do. So that's probably why. Now this is what I have left. So you can see it's kind of a runny formula. I'm going to take out a little bit more. And I'm going to switch over to my e.l.f. makeup sponge. This is damp makeup sponge. And let's see how much coverage we can get. And I will say the scent is not an unpleasant scent. It's not a heavily fragrant scent either. It's more of like a, maybe just like a natural type of a scent. I wouldn't call it a makeup scent. It feels like it's already going away as I'm applying it. I also feel like this foundation kind of dries down pretty quickly, and that's probably because it is part matte. So I would say work in sections, work rather quickly. I feel like the sponge especially, it's kind of drying down quicker. You would think it'd be that way with the brush, but no. So it did cover right here, the redness I have. I'm gonna build up coverage anyway, but that is what one application of this new Gucci, I have to be able to pronounce this, Eternite Debute 24-hour breathable foundation, luminous matte finish. I tried, never took French, but what do you guys think so far? What do you guys think of the shade? I think the shade Fair is a fair shade. I think that is a really good match for me. I think so far it looks good. So far it feels good too. All right, I'm gonna pump out a little bit more. And I'm going to use my damp makeup sponge just to build up coverage right here on the sides of my cheeks. This is where I have old acne scars, minor discoloration. This is always the area that I will build up coverage. I wish they would have left out the fragrance because I know for a lot of you this is going to be a no-go, because you just simply cannot tolerate any type of fragrance in your skincare or your makeup. But you guys know a lot of the luxury brands, I mean, they don't take out the fragrance. They leave it in. That's their thing. I get it, but that just means some people aren't going to be able to buy it. And you know, the more that I apply, the more I can smell it. And yes, it does smell more fragrance like now. I was thinking maybe it smells more of like a natural scent. No, it's definitely like a fragrance scent. Okay, I can see that built up, and that built up well. And now that I built it up a little bit, I see the luminosity, but it's a very soft luminosity. Like I'm not seeing glitter, I'm not seeing highlight or anything like that. Nothing like that. It's just, it's covering. Seems like it's setting itself. Feels lightweight. It's a lightweight texture. But also it's going to be hydrating. So, you know, we'll see. I'm very curious. This is my first Gucci beauty purchase ever. I mean, aside from like perfume, this is the only Gucci thing I have in my stash. So I'm very excited for this one. It has the utmost of expectations for $69 for being Gucci, for crying out loud. I mean, this stuff better look immaculate at the 12-hour mark. We'll see about that. So I'm going to go in with the latest concealer, the Beautiful Skin Radiant Concealer from Charlotte Tilbury. In this one, I have shade 3. No, I have shade 4 Fair. And I'm only going to do under my eye area. I'm going to use my BK A506. Not going to do any eye makeup during the day. I'll have to put that on later when I get home. Now we're going to go in with some setting powder, and I'm going to use one of my favorites from Flower Beauty. This is a Miracle Matte Loose Finishing Powder. I'm just going to take it on a little powder puff. And I'm going to be sure to set this T-zone. Okay, why do I feel like this powder is like oxidizing everything that I'm applying it to? What is going on here? Oh yeah, that didn't do any favors. It's like all breaking apart right here. Oh wow, it's like it came off right here. I'm gonna have to start over. Wow, that sucks. Okay, I don't see anything on my head, like forehead, but I'm gonna need to fix this nose area. Yeah, it oxidized. I'll be right back. Okay, So I took off like the bottom half of my face, even a little bit right here on my forehead, and everything is the way it was looking right before I applied the powder. Thank God. So I'm gonna try a new powder. I'm gonna go in with CoverGirl Clean Invisible. I've been using this one. I've been enjoying it. I don't think this should cause any type of oxidation or anything, but let's hopefully not. Okay, no. That looks like it's gonna be good. I usually don't powder down the sides of my face, so I'm not going to today. Plus, I feel like this is already drying down on its own. Okay, that is looking so much better. Wow, I can't believe that flower powder oxidized the concealer and foundation so much. Why? Because it's a white powder. This one has some tint to it. But okay, this is looking so much better. And you know what I forgot to do? Go in with my setting spray before the powder. Oh well, you know what that means? I'm gonna use my One Size, which is like a dryer mist setting spray. And it's also a mattifying setting spray. So let's, where do I have it? Right here. This is what I'm gonna go in with. And I say that because I've been trying to change up my makeup routine and do all my cream products first. And then before I start putting any powder on my face, I do the setting spray. And it seems that little technique that I picked up from Rose and Ben over on Instagram, that little technique seems to be working out really well for me. I like the way the makeup looks. I feel like it looks better for a little bit longer, you know? So that's why I was like, oh man, you know, I should have went in with the setting spray first, but that's the reason. So here's what the complexion is looking like. 11 hours now to go because it's going to be a 12-hour wear test today. I will check in with you guys during my lunch break. We'll see where we're at, and then of course at the end of the day we'll wrap up this 12-hour wear test with this new Gucci foundation. Stay tuned. Hey guys, 5-hour check-in here with the new Gucci foundation, and this is what the complexion is looking like. I will say fair is probably one of the best shades that I've tried in a foundation lately. I think I definitely see a little bit of the luminosity coming through, but I'm matte in the areas where I want to be matte, in particular my T-zone. I think all of the oil is definitely in check. This feels good, but I will say, even though I felt it was drying down a little quicker during application, it does still feel tacky right here on the sides of my face where I didn't powder it down. I don't see this settling anywhere. I don't see it caking up. Like, it just looks good. It looks really smooth. I'm loving the way my complexion looks. Definitely full coverage. Few more hours to go, and then I will be back at the end of the day. We'll wrap up this 12-hour wear test. I'll also give you guys some dupes alternatives in case $69 is not in your budget. Don't blame you. I got you covered. Okay guys, so 12 hours later, this is what the complexion is looking like. The new Gucci full coverage luminous matte foundation. So what do I think of it? How do I think it wore on my 40-year-old normal to oily skin? So let's start off with the good things. I think the shade range is pretty good at 40 shades. That's really good, especially for a luxury brand. Sometimes they don't always come out with that extensive of a shade range. So good job, Gucci, on that. I think the packaging is beautiful. I think the coverage is great. I mean, this is a lightweight foundation. I feel like the consistency is really light. It's not a thick, it's not a heavy foundation. And for being such a lightweight foundation, a thin consistency, I really think the coverage is spot on. And I think it's true to what it says. I definitely think this is a luminous matte foundation. I haven't touched up at all. Look at my T-zone. I mean, I've been way oilier at this point during the day, and I usually do my reviews for 10 hours. Today we're doing 12 just because this is only a 1-day wear test of the foundation, but usually I'm way oilier than what I am at this point, and I don't think it looks bad. Like, I'm not looking in the mirror and saying, oh my god, I'm so super shiny, like my forehead is in check. Yeah, maybe my nose could use a touch up, but everywhere else still looks, you know, it still looks pretty good. Oil control, that bamboo powder that it has in it, I really think that works. Now, what are the things that I don't like about this? So look at how it's wearing. So you can clearly see around the nose, around the mouth. You see it breaking up. It looks cakey already. I took a quick body shower when I got home from work. I got splashed in the face right here and a little bit did come off. So not going to be completely like waterproof or water resistant or anything like that. And I think the shade, that's another thing I forgot to mention. I think the shade is actually a good shade match for me, shade fair. But going back to the bad things, look at my neck. I have a line, as we all do. We all have lines on our neck. But this line in particular right here, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I was just looking in my Simple Human mirror. The foundation has settled into that line. So that's not necessarily a good thing. I did not put powder down here, so maybe that had something to do with it. And I do feel, even though I felt like when I was applying this foundation, it was drying down pretty quickly, I do feel like it's still a little bit tacky right here on the sides of my cheeks where I did not set it with powder. So do I think this is worth your $69 or not? You know, it's $69 because it's a luxury brand. It's a luxury beauty item. This is my very first time trying Gucci Beauty, so I think it did a decent job. It didn't do a terrible job. Did it do a like just completely blow me away type of job? No. Do I have other foundations that wear just as great? Sure, absolutely. And they're actually less expensive than this one. So I want to go back to the two foundations I talked about in the beginning of the video that I swatched with this one, the YSL All Hours and the Huda Beauty FuaxFilter. So both of these are actually reformulated and they're both labeled as Luminous matte foundations. I would say that between these three, my favorite is going to be the YSL All Hours. This has just been a really well-loved foundation, the original version and now this new formulation, in my stash for quite some time. I've had this foundation, not this exact one, but the YSL All Hours foundation in my stash for a while, for many years actually. I think since like maybe 2016, 2017, well before I started YouTube. It's always been a favorite. It's always worn really well. It wears just as well as like my Lancome and Estee Lauder foundations. Not mentioning any of those in today's video because I don't have one that, you know, matches up with this new one from Gucci. I feel like between the two, YSL and Gucci is the lighter weight regarding formulation. With the Huda FuaxFilter, this is thicker. I feel like this is heavier. So this one I would put in third. I would put the Gucci in second and then the YSL first if I was just ranking those based on, you know, the fact that they're all called Luminous matte foundations. Some other alternatives in case you're not even gonna go near this Gucci foundation, you're thinking, Steph, I don't have $69 to spend. What do I already have in my stash that's similar? I think if you have the Hourglass one, which is equally as expensive but not quite the $69 price tag, you have the Hourglass Ambient Soft Glow Foundation. This is going to be a nice, kind of like a natural finish foundation that's still going to give you amazing coverage. This one doesn't look amazing at like the 10-hour check-in. So between the two, as far as longevity goes, I would actually give it to the Gucci one, but this one does provide, you know, a beautiful soft glow to the complexion to where if you already have this one, I wouldn't run out and immediately get this one from Gucci. Just wait on it, save your money for a little bit. I also think if you have the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation, I don't think you need to go out and purchase this one. This one from Armani is actually a little bit cheaper than the one from Gucci. I think they wear really similar. A lot of you, this is a cult favorite foundation. So if you have it, love it, hold on to it. You don't need to necessarily run out and buy this new one from Gucci. And I kind of feel like if you have this one from NARS, this is the light reflecting foundation, then you already have something that's a little similar to this one from Gucci. I feel like still the Gucci is a lighter weight formula between these two, but you're gonna get the same amount of coverage. And I think they both wear about the same at least on me and my complexion. Now, if you're saying, Steff, that's all great, but I still can't afford any of those foundations. Those are all like $40, $50 plus price tag foundations at the drugstore. I think the best dupe, the best alternative, and this is one that I always recommend, it's a popular one as far as dupes go here in my stash, is this one from Catrice. This has just been an amazing foundation on me, and I know so many of you have loved it as well. This is a Catrice True Skin Hydrating Foundation. This looks great for 10 hours. It looks great for 12 hours. It has just been so outstanding in my stash. It does have hyaluronic acid, the same thing as the Gucci one, and I find that their formulas are very similar to one another. I also want to give a quick shout out to the new one from NYX. This is the Bare With Me Blur Foundation. I have the shade Vanilla. This one, I wear it and it lasts. It looks good for 10 hours. It looks good for 12 hours. I don't have to worry about this one. I don't have to babysit this one, but I know this one has been hit or miss with some of you. For me, my 40-year-old normal to oily skin, this has worked fantastic. And while I think it's a bit more mattifying than this one is from Gucci, and it's a little bit thicker in formulation, I do think that they both provide a really good full coverage. And this one, to me, lasts longer, looks better for longer than the Gucci one. And this one is 14 bucks. The Catrice one is like 10 or 12 bucks. So those are my recommendations. Those are my thoughts. I think if you're a fan of Gucci, maybe you're a collector, maybe you just love luxury makeup, I think you probably already bought this, or I think it's on the way to you already, but I think you will like it. And I think this is going to be more along the lines for those of you with normal skin, those of you with full-on oily skin even. I don't know how I feel recommending this to those for those of you with full-on dry skin, just because, you know, how it's settled down here. I don't know if this is going to cling to some of your dry patches. It may not. I would think if you can get a sample of this, definitely go the sample route just to be sure. I think if maybe you're on the normal to dry side of skin types, I think you'll be okay with this one as well. Love that it's full coverage. Love the shade. You know, it's not an exact shade match, but I think it's a pretty good shade match. Once again, I'm in shade Fair. You know, you're just gonna have to decide whether it's worth the $69. Would I have purchased this if I didn't have this YouTube channel? Probably not, just because I have the YSL All Hours, and this has been a proven winner already in my stash for quite some time. Now I want to hear from you guys. What did you guys think of today's 12-hour wear test? Did you pick up the Gucci foundation? Have you tried Gucci Beauty before? Or are you like me and maybe this is going to be your first Gucci Beauty purchase? Leave it in the comments down below. I want to thank you guys so much for watching another one of my videos. You all have a great day or night, wherever it is y'all are at. Stay hydrated, guys. Drink that water, and I'll see y'all very soon. Bye.